6 things your cat does alone when you leave, and one of them will break your heart. Every morning, you do it. You grab your bag, you check your keys, maybe you say something to your cat on the way out, be good, or see you later, or nothing at all, and you close the door, and you go about your day. You think about your meetings, your commute, what you'll eat for lunch. You don't think about your cat, but your cat thinks about you. From the moment that door closes until the moment it opens again, your cat does 6 things. 5 of them will surprise you, 1 of them will break your heart. Scientists have spent years placing hidden cameras in homes, running audio recorders through full work days, attaching GPS monitors to cats to map every movement, every stillness, every unexplained behavior that happens in the space between goodbye and hello. What they found was not what they expected. The cats that looked the most calm were often the most distressed. The behaviors that seemed the most random followed precise, ancient patterns. And the one thing cats did that seemed the silliest, the easiest to dismiss, turned out to be the most profound evidence of love that an animal is capable of showing. The last of these 6 things is the one I need you to stay for. The first thing your cat does when you leave is find you, not physically, in its mind. In 2021, researchers published a study in PLOS ONE testing something never examined before. Do cats track where their owners are, even when they can't see them? They placed cats in enclosures with speakers and played the owner's voice from the expected location. Then they played it from the wrong location, as if the owner had teleported. The cats showed immediate, measurable surprise. Not because the voice was unexpected, because it came from the wrong place. The cat had already mapped where its owner was supposed to be, precisely, and when that location was violated, the brain flagged it as impossible. In plain language, your cat knows where you are, even when you're gone. It builds a mental map using scent decay, sound cues, and its internal biological clock, and it updates that map for every hour you're away. This is the first thing your cat does when you leave. It finds you, and then it waits. Most owners assume their cats have no real sense of time, that the hours of absence blur into nothing. That is not what happens. Your cat's brain maintains a precise biological clock tied to light, temperature, and the rhythms of your schedule. It knows when you're supposed to come home. Researchers in Buenos Aires documented a cat named Lennon who walked to the front door 10 to 15 minutes before his owner's son arrived, at irregular times via different routes, in different taxis. One night, 3 taxis stopped outside. Lennon didn't move. The 4th was the son's. Lennon was at the door before it finished stopping. Your cat learned the specific acoustic signature of your footsteps, the weight of your approach on the stairs, the sound your keys make 3 floors down. It has cataloged every sensory signal that has ever preceded your arrival, and it uses them to count down the seconds. It was never not waiting for you. It was just waiting in a language you couldn't read. Somewhere in your home right now, if you have a cat, there is a place where it goes when you're gone. Your laundry basket, the shirt you left on the chair, your side of the bed, the specific pillow where your scent is strongest. Your cat goes there, and it stays. Owners who discover this on hidden cameras often laugh. A cat buried in a pile of clothes, a face pressed into an unwashed t-shirt. It looks silly. It is not silly. Researchers studying feline stress response developed a concept called the olfactory secure base, the scientific term for what your scent does to your cat's nervous system, your smell, your skin chemistry, your pheromones, your specific biological signature is, to your cat's brain, the chemical definition of safety. It is what safe smells like. When you're home, that signal saturates the environment. It's constant everywhere. When you leave, it begins to fade. And as it fades, your cat feels something shift, not panic, something quieter and harder to name, so it finds the place where the signal is strongest. It curls around your unwashed shirt and presses close. Your cat is not being strange. It is doing the only thing available to it, holding on to the last strong version of you that remains in the room. The smell of you, fading slowly, is the closest it can get. There is something your cat does that almost no one knows about, because it only happens when it's sure you can't hear. Researchers who ran audio recorders through full work days discovered that some cats vocalize extensively during the owner's absence, not for food, not randomly, in response to being alone. In controlled studies, cats vocalized significantly more when their owner left, compared to when a stranger left the same room. They weren't reacting to any departure, they were reacting to theirs, and they did it quietly, in empty rooms, where no one was watching, because they are prey animals, and prey animals do not show vulnerability when something might be watching, so they wait until the coast is clear. Then they call out, a single note, a low question asked to a closed door. Millions of cats are doing this right now, in quiet houses, in empty rooms, talking to a door that is not opening. When the stress of separation goes unaddressed long enough, it stops being emotional. It becomes physical. Researchers have found that bladder inflammation in cats is directly linked to stress hormones in the blood. A chronically lonely cat is biochemically predisposed to painful, expensive urinary disease, whose cause in many households is never identified because no one put a camera on the empty room. There is also a condition called psychogenic alopecia, where anxiety becomes so consuming that a cat grooms compulsively, obsessively, until the hair is gone and the skin is raw. Most cats do this only in the owner's absence. The moment you come home, they stop. They look completely normal. You come home to a cat that seems fine, but somewhere, in a patch you might not have noticed yet, the evidence is there. And now we've arrived. The sixth thing, the one I told you at the beginning. In 2024, researchers published one of the only scientific studies on what cats experience when they lose a companion permanently. What they found was this: the neurological system that activates in a grieving cat, the system that generates searching, withdrawal, loss, is built from the same neurochemicals that generate grief in human beings. The same regions, the same compounds, the same absence of oxytocin, the same rise in cortisol. Grief is not a human invention. It is a biological feature, and cats have it fully. Now here's the part that will stay with you. This grief system is not reserved for permanent loss. It activates on a spectrum. Every separation triggers a version of it, not as consuming as death, but measurably. Biochemically, really. Every morning when you close that door, a cascade begins in your cat's nervous system. The oxytocin drops. The vigilance rises. The brain does the thing it was built to do when the most important figure in its world disappears from the environment. It searches, it waits, it manages. And when researchers measured what happened the moment owners returned, the cats didn't play it cool. They didn't pretend they hadn't noticed. They pressed against their owners. They sought touch. They made immediate, sustained, intense contact with an urgency that had accumulated hour by hour, quietly, through the entire day. After longer separations, cats interacted significantly more than after shorter ones, as if the emotional debt had to be repaid, as if something had to be restored. In the scientific literature, this is called the reunion behavior spike. In your living room, it looks like a cat that won't leave you alone the moment you walk through the door. That follows you from room to room. That climbs onto you before you've put your bag down. That presses its face against yours and stays. You probably thought it just wanted dinner. It wasn't dinner. It was 6 hours of something that looked like grief, finally ending. Research tells us that 97% of cats showed increased attachment behavior following the loss of a companion. 97%, more than dogs. The animal we've spent centuries calling aloof, independent, unbothered, incapable of the kind of love that needs you. 97%. So the next time you leave, when you grab your bag and check your keys and say something or say nothing, know this: behind that door, something begins. A map gets updated, a small warm creature finds the place where you smell the strongest and presses its face in and waits. Not because it has to, because you are the thing it is waiting for. You always were. If your cat is somewhere near you right now, don't finish this video